Well, welcome, Coach Adam Fossett of the B.B. Calmer Tigers as B.B. Calmer gets set for their season opener down in Montgomery against Montgomery Catholic. And, Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Fall camp been good, I guess?
Yeah, we had a good fall camp. We were able to bring the guys in for 2 nights. We had an overnighter and put them in the gym for 2 nights. Was able to have a little midnight practice. So we ran the guys over to the stadium and turned the lights on and practiced at about 12:30. And then we bust them back over and let them go back to sleep. So took up their cell phones during that time. And
how difficult was that?
They did well with it. It was but right before camp broke, we divided up and did some community service stuff and things like that. And some of the coaches talked to the kids during that time, and what do you miss? Do you miss your phone? Do you miss this? And almost all of them said, I don't miss my phone at all. So I think the camp accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and that was to really solidify team chemistry and make sure those guys were on one page and together. So
this is a veteran team coming back, and much is expected of B.B. Calmer this fall.
Yes, expectations are high. I've probably answered that question numerous times, and as you develop as a program, obviously the expectations get a lot higher. And we talk about our, I'm sure you're going to ask about our opponent coming up. 4 years ago, I wouldn't have agreed to this game, but it's a tribute to where the program has gone, a tribute to the buy-in from the guys. So we have 11 or 12 seniors, and those guys have been with me since 9th grade.
And that's how you want to build your program, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. That's how you want to build a program. That's how programs are built. That's how they sustain, is keeping those guys in the program. So out of the 12 guys, I think 10 of them have been with me since 9th grade. And that says a lot about those kids just sticking with it. And the seniors are the ones that first year they endured 5 or 6 homecomings. That was the group they were freshmen, and we went to Saks week 2 before Labor Day, and all of a sudden they're having homecoming. I don't know anybody that has homecoming before Labor Day.
Kind of like the punching bag,
So, expectations are high, and the key for us and the key for the kids and the team is to stay grounded. I mean, we've got to stay grounded. People ask, what's the next game? Or they start asking about the next game, and the kids even ask about the next game. Sometimes it's like, the only game I know is the one that we're playing Friday, and that's the one that I'm worried about. So,
second round playoff, though, last year, but you're not satisfied with that in 2021.
No, I think the sting of that game and the sting of how everything happened, that resonates with our guys, and they remember that. They remember how that felt. A lot of things have to happen to get back to that second round, and that's something that we can handle week in and week out. But if we're able to get back to that point, those veteran guys, I think they will be able to feel that, remember that experience, and when it comes down to preparation, when it comes down to preparing and actually executing, I think they'll be more prepared for that.
Talk about some of of this senior group that's been with you, and of course you'll lean on them quite heavily tomorrow night too. Yeah,
no doubt. Everybody knows Devontae Carmichael because he is at the quarterback spot. Devontae, we don't sugarcoat stats or anything like that. And 2 seasons ago, he rushes for over 1,000 and throws for over 1,000 yards. Last year, the entire season, we didn't throw over 500 yards. So we became very, very one-dimensional. And when you become one-dimensional,
that's trouble usually.
It becomes very hard to move the ball. So, and that's that caught up to us in Abbeville. We were very one-dimensional, couldn't throw the ball very well. So he's thrown the ball well. We've had a lot of OTAs. We've had a lot of 7-on-7s over the summer. He's thrown the ball well. He's making good reads, making good throws. His receiving core is doing a good job of running good routes and getting where they're supposed to be. So we're very senior laden up front. Hagan to lead, Drew Hallman, Corey Anderson, a lot of those guys playing on both sides of the ball on the line, offensive and defensive line.
You've always had a great running back at BB Comer. What about this fall?
Yeah, so this fall we have two guys. We have a junior, Chris Garrett. We have sophomore, Kamor Harris. Both of those guys played in the spring. Kamor broke a long run for a score early in that game, and both of those guys are power guys, you know. And Tiger fans are used to seeing Raphael Johnson, who's very, very quick, can get to the edge and get down the field. This year, those two guys don't quite have the quickness that Raphael had, but they're a lot more powerful.
Defensively, you got to look at your linebackers. They're outstanding.
Yeah, so John Murphy and Kamor Harris do a good job for us. John, you know, this is John's senior year. He's got to get everybody lined up. He's got to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, and then execute what's called. So defensively, you know, the spring game defensively, coming out of the spring game, one thing that I was very, very happy about, and we talked about, a couple people had asked me about it, was our tackling, how well we tackled, which coming into spring, you know, you have 9 days basically to kind of get everything done. And I was very concerned, especially facing the back at Sylacauga Pope, that, you know, how would we tackle? And I thought we tackled very well. I thought we got bodies to the ball. And if we can continue to do that, that will definitely lead to some success for us, because you've got to make tackles. You've got to wrap up and stop them.
Special teams can make or break a football game, and we've seen it the last number of years, and you're always trying to spend a lot of time on special teams because of that very thing.
Yeah, you know, I've learned the hard way over the years as a head coach about special teams and the time that you spend on special teams. And coming out of fall camp, we think we found a diamond in the rough with Noah Wimmer. Noah asked to kick one day, and I kind of thought he was just messing around, and I said, well, go kick. So he goes pre-practice and kicks a few balls, and he makes a few extra points, and we back him up. He makes a few field goals, and so we're like, we'll check this out. So, but during fall, I mean, he's done a very good job. So there's a good chance. You know, when we score Friday, our goal is to put him out there and see how he does. So he can boot it. I mean, he's made 30, 35-yard field goals.
Wow.
Now it's you know, I tell him all the time, it's a little bit different when there's 11 guys coming after you, you know. So, but we've done some live stuff, some live extra point stuff, and he's done well. So I think Noah could help us out a ton, and that's an added weapon. Like, to be able to have a kid that can kick, and you feel very confident going out there after a score and picking up that point, you know. We're more of a 2-point team in the past, go for two, and that can hurt you or help you. If you can have a guy that's automatic from the 10-yard line, from 20 yards out, can get you an extra point and get off the field, that's what you need to be able to do.
Didn't have any spring a year ago, and fall was just a blur, really. What precautions, if any, are we taking because we've got an uptick in COVID that's happening all across the state of Alabama? What about at BB Comer? Are we noticing this?
Yeah, we're definitely taking note of it. You know, it's kind of interesting because as coaches, we all talk. So I talk to coaches in this county, I talk to coaches in surrounding counties, and we're just kind of, to be honest with you, we're kind of holding our breath because you know, it's scary seeing the numbers. It's scary seeing everything that's going on, and you want it's a double-edged sword because you want to play.
Sure.
I mean, you want to put the season together and you want to play, but you also don't want to put any kids in risk. You don't want to put any of your coaches or families at risk. So, we keep an eye on it. We still use I call it the Ghostbuster gun. I've got a little sanitizing gun that we use, and we'll sanitize everything in the locker room and the coach's office and stuff like that. On road games, the equipment crew tomorrow, the equipment crew will leave probably 45 minutes early, and before we do, and they'll go down to where we're staying in the locker room in Montgomery Catholic, and they'll go through and spray everything down. Mm-hmm. They'll sanitize everything: doorknobs, bathrooms, locker room area, anywhere that we're going to be indoors in that area. They'll sanitize. And then they leave early enough that gets a chance to dry, and then when we come in, we know we're in a sanitized area.
You mentioned Montgomery Catholic, perennial playoff power in Alabama, and you improve by playing the best, and they're some of the best.
I agree. There's two philosophies that you can take as a head coach. You can find somebody that you can open up the season with, that you're about 90% sure you can open the season 1-0 and everybody's excited. Hey, you're 1-0, good job. Or you can find a very highly competitive team and go down and battle and let the players kind of sort it out on the field. So I want to play competition. I want our guys to want to play competition. So when this opportunity came up to go and play, I talked to their coach, Coach Johnson, and we kind of went back and forth just discussing it, and we agreed to play it. I want our guys to have the mentality, hey, we'll play anybody, anywhere, and on any day, and that's the mentality that we have to have. I want to see how we match up. I want to see how we do against them. They have 4 or 5 Division I commitments. They have a linebacker that's committed to Oregon. So this kid's going to the Pac-12 to play football. And I told our guys, and a lot of our guys, Coach, I want to play at the next level. I want to play at the next level. Well, one, here's an opportunity for exposure because you're getting to play in Montgomery against one of the better 3A teams in the state. And they're going to get covered. They're going to get media. They're going to get exposure. So one, you get exposure, and that's the name of the game. Yeah. 2, you get to find out how you match up against some top quality athletes and see where you are in comparison. So, and 3, you get to compete. Like there's no better opportunity. You get to compete, and that's the goal, is to compete. Anything that we do is a competition, so to speak. You're going to compete for the rest of your life. It's not going to be on an athletic field, but you're going to compete for a job.
And it's called a zero game, I guess. I don't know exactly what that implies nowadays, but maybe you can educate me on it a little bit.
It's called week 0. So you can play week 0, or you can start week 1, or so it provides, ideally in the grand scheme of things, I would love to play week 0, week 1, and start region play, and I'd like to have week 5 off. I'd like to not play week 5 and kind of heal up and rest and get a week off and then play the last half of the season. So the way the season works out this year is we're going to play week 0 through week 9, and then we're off week 10. So not ideally what you want, but if you look at opportunity, you may have an opportunity from week 9 to the first round of the playoffs to get healthy and get your feet back under you. Also gives us an opportunity, if we know who we're playing, it gives us an opportunity to go see who we would play and things like that. So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to it. I think in the future, I've talked to Coach Johnson at Chillsburg, and I think the plan in the future for us is going to be for us to move the Chillsburg-Comer game to week 0 on a Thursday night, which it used to be week 1 on a Thursday night before everybody ever played, and that's what we want to do again. We want to be the first game in the area and capitalize on people being hungry for a little football, even if they're not Comer fans or Chillsburg fans, they're going to come to the game.
Before we go this morning, Coach Fossett, not only the head football coach and track coach, but he is the athletic director, and that includes raising funds. We did pretty good on the chicken sale, didn't we?
We did. So did the chicken queue last week and did real well on that. We cooked 425 halves, and we sold almost 400 of them. Sold right at 400 of them. So a couple of kids that helped out, they split some halves and made out like bandits. But you know, that's a good thing too. So, but yeah, you know, the fundraising aspect of it has been tough because of the COVID and things like that. We're very diligent in. You have to be like dealing with what we did. You have to be very diligent in dealing with food and things like that. So we made sure, you know, gloves and sanitizing and doing everything the right way. But you know, it's funny because you know you've kind of solidified what you do, because like in fundraising for football, we've always done Coke sale in the spring. We sell watermelons usually around the 4th of July. And then we do chickens right as school starts, and that usually covers football. Well, I've had so many messages about watermelons, and we didn't get to do them this year. Well, that's, you know, for us, that's almost a $4,000 profit, because I have no overhead cost to get there. You know, so. But the farmer this year, I bet he apologized 10 or 12 times trying to make it happen. And it just didn't happen this year. So.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at BB Comer. The Tigers on the road to Montgomery Catholic in a game tomorrow night. And Coach, good luck, and we hope to see you again back here next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
More Daybreak right after this timeout.